Next slide. Girls have a sex doesn't count window after a breakup or divorce. No sex during this period counts towards their overall number, which is always 3. 5 guys in one drunken weekend doesn't count. First date sex with a new man once a week for 6 months doesn't count. That's 24 men. Fuck your ex-husband's brother, best friend, and dad doesn't count. You have to recognize there's 2 things that you can recognize here, especially for a guy who's a savvy player. 1, immediately after a breakup or a divorce or instability in a relationship, a girl is open to suggestion, which means if she's ever going to bang you, even just once, it's probably during this period where she's between either going back with the guy or a new guy that she's already figured out this is going to be the guy that's going to be my boyfriend. But there's going to be a period of instability, for lack of a better word. Some of it doesn't sound the most honest and upfront, but she's not going to count any of these guys, of which you're one of them. And that's how girls make themselves feel better. And a lot of guys feel better too when going through a breakup is by replacing, or at least replacing the physical manifestation. And I think Bunny's kind of conveyed this to me, that like it helps with her self-confidence. You know, a girl, she doesn't feel pretty, she doesn't feel attractive, but through, you know, the sex during the breakup, there's validation there. And this is where like having Bunny in here always helps to get the girl's perspective. She'll tell you exactly what's on their mind, which sometimes is counter to us. Girls have a sex doesn't count window, and you need to recognize that is 1, an opportunity for you, and 2, that this exists. So girls are going to go through that, and it's completely, I mean, it's probably best up for you not to pry, or, you know, these are kind of like gray areas or black holes of girls' experience, where it's kind of like if you and your girlfriend break up for a month, then you get back together. If you're savvy, if you're in this little world here, it's probably best not to pry, because there's going to be stories and things that you don't want to know. And she's either going to have to lie to you, or she's going to hurt your feelings, and it makes it that much harder to get back on track. There's a million reasons to let this go. There's 1 or 2 where you feel better about asking, or, you know, prying, or getting the truth out. But usually for most guys, it kind of creates, it's like flying a plane and it goes out of control, and you finally get it back under control, but you start messing with the instruments again, and you're like, what did we do wrong here? And then you're in a flat spin again. So when you've got something back on track, don't mess with it, would be my suggestion. You have to, what do we say? You charge it to the game. That is part of it. That if you guys have a period of instability for a month or 2 months, and you're not exactly sure where each other is, you're not on your best behavior. She's not on her best behavior. But everything that happens during that period kind of falls under a gray area, doesn't count. So girls have a sex doesn't count window after a breakup or divorce. You can use this to your advantage if you're out on the market. And just know that it's going to happen. No sex during this period counts. 5 guys in one drunken weekend doesn't count. First date sex with a new man once a week for 6 months doesn't count. And fuck your ex-husband's best friend and or dad, that doesn't count either. And just know that these are all things that are pulled from reality. None of this is theory or supposition. It's everything that has happened, and we know it happens, and we recognize that that's what goes on during a breakup. And just like I said, you can use it to your advantage, or it can harm you. Either way, you know, but being aware is the first step of like damage control. And so we have our next slide. So if you have any